Alright, yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski, and welcome to my new player onboarding experience review of PokeOne. Now, I'm a professional Pokemon MMO player, you could say. Specifically, a game called PokeMMO, which is my pride and joy. I love this game so very much. I've been playing it for around 9 years personally, and to be able to play it nowadays, full-time on YouTube, is an absolute dream come true and something I never thought possible. But at my core, I love Pokemon MMOs, and I always said growing up that PokeOne was my second favorite, but I never really played it too much. I believe I only got around maybe halfway into the first region, but it always has had a certain charm to it. It had a certain beauty to it. The music here in the intro screen, it doesn't even feel like Pokemon music, but it fits. I'm not sure if they just took... I'm not sure if it's original music or if they just took a Pokemon song, but it really does work, and I think it's beautiful. And I'm really excited to try what the new player experience would be like for PokeOne in 2022. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. I went ahead and made a new account for this, and I'll be playing through the game for about 1 hour just to get that new player experience. Here we see the character customization screen. Let's see how many hairstyles they have. Can't go backwards. Okay, so we have a couple different hairstyles. Definitely want the hair color to be black. Huge fan of black hair. Pretty much always. This looks pretty dark, but let's see what other options they have. Alright, so I think this is the character selection that I'm going with. It looks like they had around 14 or so hairstyles. They have, or we count the 0, I guess, so around 15 hairstyles, 28 hair colors, 4 skin tones, and I believe it was 5 eyes. This is what I'm going to be rocking with personally. Going to go ahead and accept and see what the first message they start with. So it looks like they have 2, I don't know if it's just 2 regions in the game, or maybe it's just 2 regions you can start with, Kanto or Johto. Part of me really wants to go Johto because we don't have access to that in PokeMMO. That is actually the only region through regions 1 through 5 we don't have access to yet. So it's very tempting, but I know Kanto the best, and I want to get as far as possible in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Kanto. So I think something I really remember loving about this game was the art style. It's not quite original Pokemon, but I think it really works well. I think a lot of other Pokemon MMOs try to venture too far off the grain and try to be super original, which I think this one kind of does, but I think it does it well. Maybe it just comes down to personal preference, but a good example was Pokemon Revolution Online. I'm really not a fan of that art style used in that game. I think that game has some fantastic mechanics, but the graphics definitely weren't for me. We start with a pretty fleshed out room, 2 beds, piano over here. I don't know if this indicates anything. Let's go ahead and head downstairs. Now, as we stand with our mother over in the distance waiting, let's go ahead and go over the HUD and kind of cover all these overwhelming mechanics. So the chat is pretty similar to PokeMMO, so it's not too much of a difference for me, but essentially you have your different chat channels for general chat, battle chat, trade chat. You'll see everything being traded here. Shiny Tentacle, 300k. It's interesting to see the different shiny prices in this game as compared to PokeMMO. You can see global chat. Everybody's talking about everything going on. I don't know what this means. This is a shiny Halucha, I guess, I assume. Okay. We also have a ton of stuff. So this gift box, this PvP. We're going to go through everything pretty slowly because I feel like if I was a new player, I would start to kind of dabble to figure out what's going on. So my party, I assume this is my party. This big couple of gray boxes in the bottom right. Now this is a cool feature. So this actually shows the Pokemon able to be encountered nearby, I assume. I don't know if you have to get them in your Pokedex or anything first to see that, but I actually do like this mechanic. I think it's basically just an in-tool wiki, like an in-game helpful tool for the game. I think there's no real reason to not have this. It can be nice sometimes to mysteriously, encounter Pokemon you've never seen before. Now, I just gained a box, and I have no idea why. Now, that is interesting. And I don't know if that's because I've been playing for a certain amount of time. Maybe it's, every day you log in, you get a box, small box. I don't know if it's a daily login reward sort of thing. We got a Sweetheart, which isn't really a super useful item in Pokemon, so you know what, I'll take it. Next free box, 14 minutes. So it seems to be a system that rewards consistent play. I'm not super against this as long as the rewards are like pretty tame, which a Sweetheart really is. So honestly, nothing to complain about so far. Really interested in everything. Now, as beautiful as the map looks, something I worry about is ease of access and ease of like zipping around and flying around places quickly. Something that I love about PokeMMO is that it has that Pokemon charm while also being an efficient MMO grinder's dream, which I'm a huge fan of. You can efficiently just fly around, zip around, like wherever you need to. This map is a little more awkward, it seems like to me. If I zoom out and click out of the map, will it click back into that same zoom? Now that is pretty nice. I was worried it would go back to the default zoom. This may make that efficient zipping that I'm talking about possible. Now there's also this little Growlithe or Arcanine icon that when I click, nothing really happens. So I assume this is something to do with mounts. I believe I remember mounts being in this game, which is one of my favorite things in this game. I think mounts always work pretty well in a Pokemon game. But we can't access that yet, so let's go ahead and move on. PvP brings up the ranked PvP matchmaking system, which is pretty cool. They also have some daily rewards, it looks like, and even guild rewards. I love the idea of this. That is fantastic. Rewarding group effort in a PvP sense. I'm a huge fan of this. PokeMMO does have some PvP rewards, but they are a little lackluster in my opinion, but they can be difficult to balance, so I understand the difficulty in that. But yeah, really enjoying the PvP system just from a very, very, very broad overviewing perspective. I'm interested in just the idea of bringing guilds and a group system into the PvP reward system. Now, if we look at our trainer card, we have access to a ton of information, which is up here, this little card here. As you can see, you see your playtime, you see your join state, you see your steps taken, which I really like. I don't know why that number is so interesting to me. I think that is a very cool thing to keep track of. Your times fainted. This could be great for Nuzlocke legitimacy. Pokemon caught, level ups, wild encounters, Pokeballs thrown, Pokedex seen, Pokedex caught, achievement points. I guess we have an achievement system in this game. That's pretty exciting. Your current region, of course, your levels, and then your PvP overall win-loss record, which is pretty interesting to see. It looks like there's also badges down here for Unova, so it seems like Unova would be in the game. And you can also turn your trainer card private or public, I assume, which means that other people should be able to right-click your name and check your player card, maybe. I'm a huge fan of that. Alright, now this box obviously is your inventory. Pretty simple. General Pokeball. We have a sweetheart now. TMs, HMs, berries, held items. Pretty simple stuff. Nothing too special there. Let's click on this and we do have the in-game shop. The costume shop, excuse me. You have your default look, your red clothes, your blue clothes. To be fair, these Pokeyen, this can be all bought with in-game currency. So there's no any sort of real-world transactions there. But then you do have things like the office uniform, the casual orange, all these other things that have the coin icon. I believe those are the in-game, real-world money shop currencies, which really have to exist in any game nowadays, especially a free-to-play game. Like, it's just how they keep servers up, it's how they keep running. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if they are just for cosmetics. Now, I'll be interested to see what other effects they might have. This Pikachu hat's kind of cool. I'm interested to see what other things, like what they might be selling in the shop. I'm not sure the extent. Now, this is something that I do kind of take issue with. I think the idea of being able to buy legendary mounts it kind of kills the, that specialness. It kind of kills the uniqueness of that mount. And it kind of kills that for me personally. I've never been a huge fan of being able to buy those super rare, super like crazy looking mounts. Being able to buy like shiny mounts or black Absol specific mounts. I don't think I'm a huge fan of that. I do like the idea of, but like, I don't know. It's tough because where do you draw the line? I understand developers have to make money, gotta pay the bills, gotta pay the servers, but I do think that I personally take issue with the super over the top, super overly cool mounts trying to be milked for that cash. And now, once again, the same kind of premise comes around, I guess, but honestly, I don't see surf mounts. I love these. I love the idea of you customizing your surf mount. And honestly, they don't really have any over-the-top surf mounts. I think this is really cool. Having PokeMMO in this is awesome. So this confirms that there is, what, Gen 6, Gen 7, I think it's like Gen 7 or something, Gen 7 or 8. So there is future generation Pokemon in the game. Maybe, but maybe it's just a mount. I'm not sure. This is interesting. So I love these. I think all of these are super fair to have in the shop. Shiny Magikarp's not crazy rare. Shiny Sharpedo. Shiny Lapras is usually pretty rare, but it depends. I don't know in this game, obviously. This might be like the rarest one. But you know what? If there's like one rare one, everyone has it, makes it less rare, sure. But you know what? This is pretty cool. Being able to customize your surf mount is very cool. And they also have flying mounts. I definitely don't remember all these different kinds of mounts. I don't know if this existed back in the game when I played very, very briefly back when the game released. But I don't remember having mounts, surf mounts, and fly mounts. That is a very high level of customization just for mounts, which really seems to be a theme of this game, high customization, and I really can say that overall, I'm extremely impressed by this game so far. I would say that this game might even have, like, off the bat, like, just looking at straight up UI, maybe I'm taking things for granted, it might have a better UI and better just exciting information and exciting tools just in the UI than PokeMMO. Now, obviously, I still think PokeMMO is the better game overall, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. It's very unlikely. I think PokeMMO is the perfect Pokemon MMO. I think it's beautiful, but this is a video about PokeOne, so I do want to focus on that. But making those comparisons to the best Pokemon MMO will be useful in this video. Alright, now if you click the start button, you actually do have the achievements list, which I think is a fantastic thing. I would love to see this in PokeMMO as well. These sort of niche tasks to keep players playing, give them goals. So the issue with Pokemon MMOs is that for them to be a long-term game, a consistent game, you have to have players that know how to make their own goals, which can be difficult for people. So, for example, most people, when they play a Pokemon game, they essentially just play through the storyline, finish the storyline, and then stop playing the game. But there are certain people, completionist players, specific types of players, who go on to maybe complete the Pokedex, maybe shiny hunt a ton of Pokemon, level a ton of Pokemon to 100, get every item in the game, get certain items, maybe trying to create competitive Pokemon. There's certain people who have those above and beyond goals. But some people maybe, you know, they want to get on that track to making those above and beyond goals, but they don't really know how to. And it's nice to have kind of in-game assets to teach people to make those goals. And I think achievements can be a sort of a gateway drug per se, a gateway into creating your own goals and playing the game long term and having your own achievements, which I think is a fantastic tool to have. A fantastic tool to have in really any MMO, but it really sticks out in a Pokemon MMO where a lot of the players are going to quit after the storyline. It's one of the biggest issues that PokeMMO has, and I think an achievement list could be one of the best solutions. Now, clicking this blue little chat thing brings up your friends list, your ignore list, and your guild list, and this is the first biggest no-no that I've seen so far. Charging your players IRL money to create a guild is something I am vehemently against. Now, maybe there is a way to achieve these coins in-game just through normal play. Maybe you can buy them. Maybe there's like a guild pass you can buy. Maybe there's some way to do it for free, which is nice, but I really don't think there should be a huge barrier to entry to creating a guild like this. There should be some barrier to entry. There should be some in-game currency cost to act as a sink to help with the economy. For those who don't know, a currency sink, like a gold sink is what it's often called, is essentially a system that just drains and funnels gold out of the game to help prevent inflation. I think a guild system is one of the most common ways of doing so, but really costing 1,000 gold coins like this, which are the out-of-game IRL currency, I don't know how much that would cost me. Maybe I should go ahead and check that really quick and get you guys an accurate number on it. And when I clicked this get boxes screen, that's when I opened up the worst thing of all that I've seen so far, unfortunately. I understand having in-game shops, but when it comes down to loot boxes, that's when I'm very, very skeptical. So, you can buy 2 boxes for $2, 5 boxes for $5, 11 boxes for $10, so you get a little bit of a benefit, and then 20 boxes for $24, etc., etc. Now, you do get some coins alongside these boxes, and I'm assuming that you get coins when you open up the boxes. I'm not sure what the day buffs do. The reroll tokens, maybe you can reroll an item you get from a box. I'm not quite sure. But wow, let's say that you were to buy this $10 package, and you got these 700 coins. I don't know how rare the coins are from the boxes. I assume they're probably somewhat common, but imagine paying 10 euros, which is around actually probably 12 US dollars, around 12 US dollars to get these 700 coins, and then opening all of your boxes and not getting any more coins, or maybe you only get 200 coins and you still can't create a guild. Are you kidding me? You could pay $10 in this game and possibly still not be able to create a guild. That is mind-blowing to me. That is incredibly frustrating. That would almost turn me off from taking this game seriously, because that is a huge barrier to entry for long-term play and for new players alike. I definitely, that is the biggest issue I've seen so far. I do not like that one bit. But that covers essentially the rest of the UI. We'll cover the options here in a sec, I guess. But essentially, my mother wants to talk to me in game. Let's go ahead and talk to her, although my keybinds aren't correct, so let me fix that. Alright, so something really nice about this game that I kind of like is that when you talk to your mother, she's obviously going to tell you to talk to Professor Oak. You actually get a little quest indicator in the top right of your screen. Having Pokemon goals in the form of quests is an interesting thing. I'm not against it, and I'm like slightly for it. It's a weird mix because something interesting about Pokemon games is having to somewhat listen to the dialogue and not having that, that quest indicator or that, that red arrow that just tells you where to go, but which doesn't really exist in anymore nowadays in games. But I still like this in my certain games, but it's weird to see in a Pokemon game is what I would say. But you go ahead and head over to Professor Oak's lab, and this place is pretty exciting. This is a pretty cool lab. I must say, man, the graphics in this game I think I'm in love with every room, every atmosphere, the audio changes, the visual changes, everything. But wow, this loading screen from outside to into Professor Oak's lab, it was a little faster there because it was my second time going in, I guess, but this feels a little long. What? That feels quite long. That is a little shocking, but you know what can you do? Let's go ahead and talk to Professor Oak. This little fish icon, I have no idea what all this means. Hello there, welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Oak, people call me Pokemon Professor, blah blah blah. You guys know all about this. I'll get you guys when some good stuff happens. This is about PokeOne, not the Pokemon storyline. Alright, so he essentially says he's too old now to be a Pokemon trainer, so we have to pick our Pokemon. I'm going to go ahead and pick Squirtle. Now, I don't know how the mechanics work in this game. Squirtle is a lot better of a choice than people traditionally realize in PokeMMO because he has access to Shell Smash, which I'm a huge fan of. Squirtle is actually my favorite starter in Kanto nonetheless, so always going to go with that Squirtle pick. Now, it looks like we got a new box. So let's go ahead and continue the addiction. Let's go ahead and open that box we've received. And I would like to see if it's possible to go on to earn those larger boxes. So we only get small boxes. We've only gotten small boxes so far from playing Poke Gold. So there we actually got 100. Honestly, that's pretty good. So maybe it's more common than we think. And the fact that you can get Poke Gold, their in-game currency, that's the real world money currency, from small boxes. Maybe there's some hope for it, but maybe I was a little too harsh. Maybe there's some hope for it. Maybe I'll come around. That's not so bad. I do think that I heavily wish it was a in-game Pokeyen sync as opposed to Poke Gold or Pokecoin or whatever it's called. I think it being an in-game currency sync would have helped the economy a lot more than, I guess, this sort of pull towards speeding up time and getting the gold to create a guild faster, kind of encouraging, that money spending habits as opposed to kind of prioritizing the benefits from your in-game economy, which would later on go on to help your game's longevity and the long run, and then that will help players stick around, and that will help players spend more money in the long run. But it's a lot longer of a process and less guaranteed than just rushing your players to buy that money. Now, the battle screen in this game looked fucking gorgeous. Can we just say that? Can we say that this game looks absolutely gorgeous? It's not the traditional style. I definitely am someone who prefers the sort of, I'm a bit of a boomer, I guess, 24 nowadays, getting old. I prefer that retro style of Pokemon. I definitely do. But I can still appreciate this. And I still like this, and I think it's still enjoyable to play Pokemon in this sort of newer gen style from time to time. Now, would I want to log on personally every day and see this style? Personally, no. A lot of you guys might heavily prefer this style. There are so many people who implement the Gen 6 Sprite mod in PokeMMO, which I personally don't use and I really am not a fan of, but a lot of people prefer it. A lot of people do. So I have to pay my respects to this, and I have to kind of assess how big a priority this is for the masses. We go ahead and defeat Gary and get 5 Pokeballs and 1 potion and a ton of pop-ups. Congratulations, you leveled up. First battle, I don't know if this was a leveling up of my Pokemon or if there's actually a trainer leveled involved. I can't quite tell. It looks like there's a level under me as well, but I can't tell if that's just to do with the Pokemon in my inventory or what's going on. Challenge Joey on Route 1. Oh, you can... Wait. That's an insane mechanic that I really didn't expect. So I do like the discovered mechanic. When you discover a new area or a new route, it gives a pop-up. I like that a lot. That is a very RPG aspect to it. Now, I'm going to click this and see what happens. I'm not clicking my keyboard. It auto walks you. That is crazy to me. Wow. That almost has like Genshin Impact mobile sort of gotcha levels of traversal where, what is this? Is this a secret Pokemon sleeping over here? Is that the meme? Is there something in this tree? I like the idea of this. If you're paying attention, maybe you get a little bit of a benefit. No, I think it's just something. No, just sleeping in a tree. Nothing to interact with, unfortunately. But I guess I can go ahead and potion up and take on Mr. Joey. I don't really want to take the time to walk all the way to a PC. But we got a box. What is this for, an achievement? Maybe I was too harsh on the system. One Ultra Ball. This is pretty bad. This feels like a pretty terrible box, though. I will say this feels like a pretty terrible normal box. 500 Pokeyen and 2 Pokeballs. Some decent Pokeballs, but like really, that seems pretty irrelevant. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna pop this potion on my Squirtle, so I don't have to go back and heal, and we'll start battling this guy. Now, I don't know how difficult this storyline is yet. I know PokeMMO is surprisingly difficult, and a lot of players can be taken off guard by it, but I really have no idea the difficulty of this game, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my battle game music down a little bit because it feels a bit loud. Let's go ahead and turn that down. Hopefully that should help your guys' ears at home a little bit. We go tackle as well, so we just double tackle this guy's Rattata. It seemed like he just had one Rattata, level 2, so it seemed like even if I didn't potion, I probably would have been able to beat him. Even at the low HP that I was at, it seems like I would have been able to beat him, and they kind of thought about that, obviously, and planned that ahead of time. Makes sense. Teach a move, learn from me. So we're going to these achievements. I do really like the achievement. The HUD, the black boxes, the black bars, everything looks very clean, very slick. I'm a huge fan of it. This game looks just absolutely fantastic. I think if PokeMMO had this overworld, I would love it. There'd be nothing. I would love that. There'd be nothing wrong with that for sure. More trainers to battle through. There's a surprising amount of trainers on quote-unquote Route 1. So something I remember about this game is that the map is not a one-to-one translation to original Pokemon Fire Red, which is something you'll obviously pick on very quickly when playing this game, but it's something I remember vividly, and it's something that honestly frustrated me, but I think it should be a positive thing. I think it should be a positive thing. It should be exciting. It's still mostly similar, but it's a slightly different, and I think that'll add some extra exploration and wonder, if you want that in this sort of game. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't think I really want some extra wonder. I think I kind of just want to play my traditional Pokemon map, and what I want to do is I want to get to endgame, and I want to start that MMO grinding aspect. I'm an MMO player slightly more than I am a Pokemon player, even though I'm a huge Pokemon fan. So what I care about the most in games like this is those MMO aspects. So after defeating Junior Trainer Sherman, I just continue heading north. I don't need to heal yet, I believe. Did I get another normal box from getting an achievement just from leveling up my Pokemon? That would be pretty sure. This is a wild encounter. As we can see, a wild Furret on Route 1 is pretty generous. If I were to catch this, I'd have a Pokemon with pretty decent stats, just for the first gym. Like, being able to encounter a Furret as opposed to a Sentret on Route 1 is pretty relevant. I don't remember quite what level Sentret evolves into Furret. I know it's pretty early, but it is pretty nice to just go ahead and have it as a Furret, ready to go. Now, I didn't see how much damage I took, which is a huge mistake for me. I'm going to go ahead and try to throw the Pokeball and wish me the best of luck. Hopefully my Squirtle doesn't die here. Let's go for a catch. The catch animation, I like this wind. The wind blowing through the grass looks pretty fantastically beautiful. So going to Foresight again there. I'm going to go ahead and Water Gun here and hope I don't die, and then go for the Pokeball at a truly lower HP. 9 HP taken. This should put me in a pretty good spot. Now, I don't like how the color of your HP doesn't change when you take damage. That can actually be a really huge indicator of when a Pokemon is like getting more and more catchable, right? Especially for a casual player. Obviously, a lot of more in-depth players go off percentage, but you can't see the percentage either, I believe. This is nice, though. So if you hover over, did I get defeat? I wasn't watching. If you hover over the Pokemon and click them, you can see their weaknesses and resistances and everything like that. So that is actually pretty interesting. Now, we did get defeated by a Furret in the wild, so I'd say this game's difficulty is shaping up to be pretty decent coming out. So we do open our second chest. We get some Pokegold, 20 of it. I believe this is TM Toxic, and then 100 Pokedollars. The Pokedollars are very, very scarce, much scarcer than PokeMMO's kind of number-wise system would work. Alright, now after making my way back to where I was before fainting, I noticed this little Pokeball over here, so I am going to go ahead and pick this up, and I think I might have found the best sound effect in gaming, ladies and gentlemen. Are you kidding me? the little swoop noise after hopping over one of these weird fenced areas that I never really understood what they were. Maybe dirt patches, mud patches in Pokemon. Let's just listen again and pay our respects. I'm in love with that. In terms of absolute sound effects and graphical effects, I really gotta say this game is top-notch for a Pokemon MMO. I am just aggressively impressed every time I hear a new soundtrack load in, a new music, just a new sound effect in general, like that little swoop, seeing a new town, seeing different character sprites. I just am mesmerized by the beauty of my senses when playing this game. Alright, so I talked to Emma, and she said that she is missing a Pokeball. So we have to go find her missing Pokeball specifically, but I'm not quite sure where that'd be. So we have to do a little bit of exploring on Route 1. I can't imagine it's too far. I do want to go ahead and talk to Larry real quick to see if he'll battle me. He just basically explains the jumping mechanic. So we have to go find her lost Pokeball, but I'm not quite sure where that could be. Maybe it's in a little patch like this. Maybe it's in a rock. I really don't know what this implies, and we can't actually pass until we find her missing Pokeball. This looks like a secret hidden path that I haven't gone to, maybe, or this is already the path that I've walked. I think we went up the top right, if I remember correctly. So is this a branch off of Route 1? No, this is the original path. I have no idea where her Pokeball is going to be, guys. Now, it seems like if you interact with these trees, you actually can get berries from them, which is super, super cool. So, got some orange berries from that and some pecha berries from that. That'll really help with the early game. So, encouraging a player to explore when I couldn't really tell those were berries. Oh, well, I forgot this patch to the left. I feel like her Pokeball has to be over here. Let's talk to Frankie. He looks like a troublemaker. What did she give me? She gave me a sample. Oh, it's just the person who gives you a sample when they work at the Viridian Mart. That's a traditional Pokemon sort of aspect. Let's hop over here. It's just a patch of grass here. I'm really not sure where Emma's Pokeball is going to be. Alright, now I spotted this Pokeball over here in the top right corner of my screen, so I feel like that has to be Emma's. Let's go ahead and grab it. I don't know how I missed that my first time around, or maybe it was added afterwards? I feel like I didn't see this. I don't know if I just totally missed it, if I'm blind, or it appeared after talking to Emma, and there's some sort of interesting storyline plot here. I don't remember seeing that the first time, but maybe I can watch back my footage and see. Now, I went ahead and completed my daily quest. I have no idea what that was, but I did complete it, so that's very cool. Let's go ahead and keep heading north, go talk to Emma and give her Pokeball back to her. Now, I'm really curious by this mechanic. I don't know if they just implemented her as a way of stalling you to make you go back south to encourage the player to explore more of Route 1 and maybe gain some extra XP or before coming to battle Nancy or before adventuring on. Maybe they realized that there wasn't enough wild patches and there wasn't enough possibility for you to gain enough XP to take on the storyline, but even if that was the case, I would have heavily preferred if they were to give the player that choice of realizing like, hey, look, I didn't level enough, let me go grind. Maybe it was just an introductory to quests. I'm not quite sure. The Emma encounter might be the weirdest mechanic that I've encountered so far in this game, and I honestly can't tell you if it's a good one or a bad one. I think it really comes down to its purpose and like what it's trying to accomplish, but the fact that I can't right now properly address what it's for, I feel like it has to be a bad thing. I don't know if we need an introductory to quests since we have all these quest markers up here. Maybe it was an introductory to exploration and finding an unmarked object quest type, like a specific type of quest. I'm really not sure. What are all of these random off patches to the side? I keep seeing these. Like, usually in a Pokemon game or any sort of video game, you won't have something created unless it has a purpose, because that's just wasted dev time. So I'm really curious as to what this is. There has to be some way to wake up this sleeping Pokemon or wake up whatever that is to get some sort of effect or encounter. I just haven't discovered that quite yet. So if that's something later on to discover, I would be extremely excited. Teasing a player with a future mechanic and then allowing them to come back and complete it later is excellent game design. This is a fantastic example of that as well, and this was present in traditional Pokemon games as well. Having those trees you could cut down, but not having access to HM Cut was a fantastic way to motivate players to explore a little more and go back to previous towns and regions even. Alright, so let's first talk about the town. Viridian City. Officer Jenny here is really cool. It's cool to see her implemented in these older traditional games. The PokeOne billboard here, I love this. I really hope I hope deep in my heart that they actively change this. Maybe once a week or even once a month. Changing this to be something new and interesting would absolutely be incredible. That would be such a cool feature in a video game, especially a Pokemon MMO, that I would just love to see. An actively changing billboard, how cool is that? Now my current goal is to find Nurse Joy. So we walk into the Poke Center, cross by an NPC named Betty and Brofessor, terrified of talking to him, and go ahead and heal our Pokemon at Nurse Joy and have a little conversation. So completing that quest of talking to Nurse Joy grants our Pokemon experience. That is really interesting. I wonder if it is possible to do something of a pacifist run in this game. I think that would be really, really interesting. Being able to gain XP and level up your Pokemon without battling with them is a really cool concept. Oh no, but it looks like that isn't possible, because it looks like you do have a separate character level and a Pokemon level. That is pretty cool. So you can see Squirtle here at 104 out of 105 XP, so it's very, very close to level 9, but my character is 45 out of 170, so there is a separate level thing. I do really, really like that. Now, something I noticed while flipping through these is a couple different things. My Squirtle has a really decent attack IV and decent enough speed IV for the speed IV for the storyline. Honestly, these stats are pretty decent. The HP and defense are terrible and will definitely cost me a lot of bulk, but honestly, these are pretty decent attack IVs for a storyline. So it means the IVs are random. Something else I noticed was that my EVs haven't been placed. This is interesting. So what this means is you can specifically place your EVs in stats that you specifically want. So normally, let's see if this works. Yeah, so you go up one. Interesting. So in traditional Pokemon, whenever you defeat an enemy wild Pokemon, or any sort of Pokemon, even a trainer's Pokemon, whenever you defeat a Pokemon, that Pokemon will immediately gain EVs in those stats. But this system essentially allows you to avoid gaining unwanted EVs. This is bloody genius. This is fantastic. The fact that you can store up EVs, you still have the maximum of 510, you still have the max of 252, but just granting the player more control over their EVs without any sort of other benefit. You still have to grind the same amount for the EVs. This is just fantastic. This is a fantastic way to give players control over the things they're putting into their Pokemon's bodies. I love that. That is a fantastic system. We also got another normal box, so let's go ahead and open it. Let's follow the same old loot box system. Now, we got 150 Pokegold from this one loot box, so you know what? Maybe the guild system isn't so terrible after all. Now, we also got this bat. What is this? I love this vanity. I hope this is a vanity that I can just equip and have on at all times. General, is it a vanity? What is it? Bat? I can't left click it, I can't right click it. I have no idea the purpose of this item. Alright, I didn't want to do it, but I need content. Let's go ahead and talk to Professor. There's a Poke Center in every town ahead. They don't charge any money either. That's it. He's just a nice guy named Professor. I don't think so, PokeOne. That's a nice trick you played on me there. Let's go ahead and continue on and go on to our next quest, because we can just follow quest lines in this game as opposed to being stuck. You never don't know what to do. You can always follow a quest. Now, clicking my go-to on my quest in the top right immediately just dragged me over to my boy Carl in the Pokemart. I assume this is some sort of just quick tutorial on the Pokemart, which is honestly a fantastic way to do it. Now we need to visit Dizzy. I'm not sure whether I kind of love this, but I kind of don't. I like that the Pokemon storyline is hopefully not the highlight here. I think by adding this sort of quest go-to auto walk feature, I'm not clicking my keyboard right now at all, you're encouraging the player to consistently stride through the storyline and reach that end game, because the storyline isn't what's important. What's important is understanding the game's mechanics and core engines and then getting to use them at a very advanced level in the late game. Alright, so Greg is going to give us some quiz. I can't wait to embarrass myself in front of all of YouTube. Alright, I will say in the middle of recording this, I seem to have glitched the game. I had to actually get AFK logged. I probably could have logged out myself, so I went ahead to eat some Pizza Hut, and now we're back ready to do Greg's quiz. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I obviously initially only wanted to play 1 hour of this game, but I think since I am delving so deep into every little detail, I'm obviously going to play at least up until the first gym, I think is my current goal. I'm going to get my first gym badge. And I think that will accurately resemble what a new player's first hour would look like, as opposed to my very detailed first hour. So I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Visit Dizzy in the trainer's car. Look at that. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, so I looked up to the top right and I followed my little quest marker, and it was that simple. You can avoid looking stupid. Let's go ahead and start this quiz. Avoid looking stupid for the time being. Awakenings, obviously sleep. Click through that really quickly. How many non-volatile status conditions are there? Non-volatile. I'm not even sure if I understand what that means. Is that confusion? No, that wouldn't make sense. Non-volatile. I'm not quite sure what they mean by that. I'm actually going to get this wrong, I think. Non-volatile status conditions. I assume they're just asking about sleep, freeze, paralysis, toxic burn, so 5. Okay, easy peasy, boys. Which status condition totally immobilizes a Pokemon freeze and sleep? Both, I guess? Totally immobilizes. Is this just like a, I don't know if this is an actual like effect gameplay question, or if they're asking about like lore. Like paralyze would obviously like, I guess, so freeze you could technically scald through and be mobilized. Sleep you could snore or sleep talk through. I'm gonna click freeze, I guess. That's right, okay. Definitely knew that. Does not inflict ongoing damage, obviously paralyze. Okay. Those questions were pretty easy, but a little weirdly worded, I'd say. If I'm not, you know, what you guys think in the comments down below would be cool. What status condition remains after battle? Poison and burn. Freeze, poison, burn, paralyze, and sleep. Yeah, it's poison and burn, I believe. Freeze does not stay. Poison and burn, I believe. Oh my goodness, I'm terrible. Oh, I should have said all. I just realized. Okay, not too embarrassing. You know what? Take some money and keep learning. I'll keep learning. I'll keep trying to get better. Apparently, I'm not good enough. You know what? Fair enough. We're always learning. Let's go to the Old Man in Viridian City. All right, now it's time for my favorite part of PokeOne gameplay. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Alright, so this old man essentially baits you into a battle and says you have to defeat him to be able to pass onward. So, we're going to go ahead and do that pretty easily. He only has a level 3 Weedle that we see. He has 3 Pokemon. So something that I've noticed is that in the top left you can see how many Pokemon. I think it's a pretty out of the way UI. I'm not a huge fan of this. I don't know why it's all the way up here, but you can see that my opponent has 3 active Pokemon to battle. Alright, now my Squirtle did get poisoned by a poison sting, is at around 5 HP, so I think the only way I can win it... What does this bat do? Still have no idea what this does. The only way I can really win this, I believe, is if I potion here, so I'm going to go ahead and potion up. It's worth it, I guess, to go ahead and win this battle. I'm going to potion up really quickly here. Can you speed through it if you spam the interact key? That'd be kind of nice. It's a little fastish. Okay, so now I hopefully should be able to survive through this and just water gun this thing down. We should have 2-shot this Rattata pretty comfortably with water gun. There we go. Hit those damage checkpoints. Quick attack comes in. I might die to this poison after the battle, but we did win it. There we go. Easy peasy. Viridian Forest is waiting for you. We get our nice little quest completes and some more achievements. We also get, I love this, the discovered area of Route 2. Alright, so while I'm heading back to Viridian to go ahead and heal up, I'm going to go ahead and open these 2 boxes that I've gotten from quests. Why not? I wonder, 20 Pokegold, I'll take it. I wonder if it would be possible, that'd be such a cool thing, if it would be possible to reach 1,000 Pokegold by the end of this video. Now that would be an impressive feat. That would be very, really cool to make me really eat my words and realize like, hey, getting 1,000 Pokegold isn't actually that hard. It's not that much of a requirement to create a guild. You know, you spoke too soon sort of thing. Now, if we check in the shop, we can see that I currently have around 290 Pokegold and 2,090 Pokeyen. Looking pretty solid so far. Let's heal up and head back up towards that route. Okay, a very funny dialogue that Nurse Joy kind of went over is that infamously in Pokemon games, she would say, your Pokemon look really, really bad. Let me heal them. And in this, there was actually a dialogue talking about her first time saying that. And she followed it up with, wow, maybe I shouldn't say that. That would actually really hurt some trainers' feelings. It may affect them later on in life. So, and she says she apologizes. So she essentially will never say that again, which is very, very funny. Now, a quick little complaint about dialogue and like kind of the UI options of PokeOne. So
I like to spam my interact key, which I usually set to Z. In PokeMMO, I play with WASD controls and then Z and X as my A and B keys. I know it sounds like an absolute crunching time on the hand, but I'm just used to it over the past 9 years. Now, I can't do that in PokeOne. I have to open up this dialogue, and then I have to press 1 or 2 on my num key. So it's a little weird to not be able to spam through your interact to heal at the Poke Center. Now, obviously, that's something you would become accustomed to if you play this game a lot, but I really think it would be just a lot more convenient to be able to spam through with like your normal A button or interact key as you would with a traditional Pokemon game. Now, I do have one more box to quickly open, so let's go ahead and get that over with. It's kind of fun opening loot crates, I guess, even though they're a terrible, toxic thing to have in a video game. Can't help but love them. We do get this shitty, terrible color hat. I hate that. But 100 Pokegold, we're getting up there. We're at around almost 400, 390 Pokegold. That puts us to, I believe. Alright, so something unfortunate that I noticed in the very first town is that, so obviously Viridian Forest is located to the north of Viridian City, right? If I click go to travel through Viridian Forest, my character will actually start heading south down to Route 1. Now, I don't know if this is actually where Viridian Forest is at in this game, or if this is already a glitch in the go-to function. It would be pretty unfortunate that if, you know, being so lightly into this game, only being in the first town, if I'm already encountering a glitch of pathing with this sort of go-to function, that is pretty detrimental. That is pretty unfortunate. So hopefully we can head up here to the north and see this fixed. But that is a huge bummer to see for sure. But now that we've defeated the old man, we can head past him, keep heading north, and hopefully reach Viridian Forest up here. I almost don't want to see Viridian Forest up here because I'm scared that just to come to that realization of this go-to function being so brutalized is pretty sad. It looks like I did see Route 22, I believe is what it is, down to that southwest corner, which is the path towards the E4 in traditional Fire Red. So it looks like that was placed traditionally. I think things look very different in this game, but the mapping is so close to being traditional. I think it's a really good mix of being so close to being traditional. You can still follow, you know, your previous knowledge, but it gives you almost a mix of both. You can use your previous knowledge and have that memorization of pathing and everything, but it still keeps it a little fresh and a little whimsical. So I think it's a pretty good mix. Now, I do think it's a little disorienting at times. You can't totally rely on your previous knowledge, but here, this should be the opening to Viridian Forest. Pick up this Pokeball, get a Paralyzed Heal. Them being no animation there is a little unfortunate, or any sort of, like, the lack of animation there is definitely brutal on the aesthetics, but let's keep heading north. Little gate entry here for no reason, but it kind of looks cool. Adds a little bit of depth, honestly. Adding this depth to the region, very, very cool. You don't see that in Fire Red, so let's go ahead and make our way into Viridian Forest, obviously. So it looks like our go-to function was broken. Maybe you can only use it if you're close enough. I don't know how close you have to be, obviously. I'm gonna go ahead and try it now. Yeah, it looks to function properly now, but that's unfortunate that it totally broke because I was too far away for sure. This guy wants to talk to me, wants me to find Laura. It is really interesting to see all of these quests scattered. Yeah, so I now have to find Laura. It's really, really interesting. They've done a fantastic job spreading out the quests like this. It really, really is fantastic. So, and it looks like if you click the go-to function, it might not give you the most optimal pathing, which is a good thing. I think you should get slightly punished and have a slightly less optimal path if you're using that function or relying on that function too heavily. So, pretty well balancing on it, honestly. It's okay to have a less optimal path, but it definitely shouldn't just totally break the way it did when I was in Viridian and use this. It should still point me in the right direction, so still want to keep that criticism holding strong. Now, entering a couple battles here, we see a Leddyba, which is pretty cool, pretty interesting Pokemon. I'm kind of just battling through most of the wild battles, getting the XP here and there where I can. My Squirtle's up to around level 9 at the moment. Would love to see it reach level 10 ASAP if possible. I'm not quite sure what level I'll be looking for to fight Brock. So normally in traditional Pokemon games, usually around level 12 or so, it should be a pretty guaranteed fight, but let's see how difficult this game wraps up to be. So one quick negative around the go-to feature is that I do think it kind of discourages exploring, which is kind of unfortunate. So to the left here, if I click go to, I don't know if I need to go south or north here, but if I click go to, it obviously shows me that I need to go north. But I want to go ahead and explore south, so let's go ahead and head down here. And I encountered a trainer over here named Serena, which can only be, I guess you can reach her from going up here, but I think it's interesting to encourage exploration in a better way. It's a weird mix. It's really hard to balance something like the go-to function and encouraging exploration. I feel like they've done a pretty decent job so far, but I would love to see how these functions, how these mechanics go hand in hand throughout the entirety of a region. Now, this might be one of the coolest quests so far, and I'm so happy I talked to this person. I could have just totally missed this, but because I chose to explore a little bit and really look through every nook and cranny and, do this, I found this quest, and I'm so excited for this. So, part of me really likes that trainers who offer quests don't just have those exclamation marks on their head. You have to go and talk to them. You have to go and figure out, which of them have quests. And this girl wants me to explore all of the regions of the Viridian Forest, which is another huge way to encourage exploration. So there seems to be two huge ways to play through PokeOne, and neither of them are bad. You can either take your time and find all these quests and discover all of these different trainers in all these different regions and gain some extra XP and gain some extra benefits along the way. Here's Laura, who is the person I'm trying to find for that one quest. So let's go ahead and go over to her. Or you can quickly kind of rush through with the go-to feature and get to that end game as quickly as possible. I think having these two clear options, they've coexisted extremely well. And at first glance, I can't imagine how much time it would have taken how much thought process would have taken to balance these two functions and these two play styles correctly. So a really huge nod to the developers. They've done this pretty fantastically so far. All right, there we go. We talked to Laura. She essentially says her old man is freaking out for no reason. She'll find him later, and it's no big deal. So we're off to go ahead and explore the rest of the forest. Now, I wonder what happens when I click the go-to on something like explore the old forest. Which routes, which paths will it take me to? Another quest complete, I'm not quite sure for. Now, it is a little funny to definitely be completing quests left and right and not really know what you're doing or what they're for. I think that is something I'd criticize some MMOs for. Something similar to Black Desert Online kind of has this mechanics where it's constantly throwing things at you in the early game, and it's just kind of overwhelming and weird, and you're not really sure what you're even doing. I really don't like MMOs like that flood you with that sort of thing, even though BDO has some really beautiful combat and a lot of positive things going for it. I think I have a huge criticism for it in that regard. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into this battle through this trainer, and keep battling through Viridian Forest. Now, I will say, after running through so many tutorials, I really wish there was a tutorial for the EV system that I talked about that I thankfully noticed earlier into the game. Because if a player doesn't notice the EV system, they might run through a large part of the storyline, or maybe the entire storyline, without dumping any EVs into their Pokemon, which is going to be a massive disadvantage for them, which would be really sad and unfortunate. So I really wish they sort of explained this EV system straight off the bat, maybe somewhere in Viridian City or Viridian Town. This should be explained very early on. I assume that maybe they'll explain it after the first gym. That might be a really good time, so I'm hoping for that. We'll sort of see if that happens. I wonder what a reset does. It costs, okay, I was gonna say it shouldn't be free to reset, but it costs some amount of Poke Gold. Now, once again, it sucks to see all of these systems cost Poke Gold as opposed to Pokeyen. And I think that really shows the devs' prioritization. Unfortunately, I don't want to draw any too huge conclusions, but I think if they were to make more things Pokeyen syncs, it would be more beneficial to the game. But I think Poke Gold syncs really show a little bit of favoritism to, the sort of money-making aspect of the game, which you can't blame the devs for too much because they've clearly made a beautiful and incredible game, and I want them to get paid and properly compensated for this game. I think people are too quick to jump on shitting on games for having any sort of monetary status or any sort of, in-game shop. They deserve to make money for the product they've made. But players deserve the choice of when to do that and how to do that, and I think it should be a fair choice. And I really do think that more systems probably should have used, that I've seen so far, more systems should have used a Pokeyen sync as opposed to a Poke Gold sync. Now, I just killed myself by hitting myself 3 times in a row in confusion, so Patrouski luck strikes again. But on the way with the Walk of Shame back to Viridian Forest after losing to a Leddyba, let's go ahead and open up our loot boxes. I wonder if I can click the go-to button. Nah, that's the broken one. So we got a cool hat finally, and around 600 Pokédollars, really? Only 600? That feels like so little, but I'm not quite sure the value of the Pokeyen in this game quite yet. TM81. Is that Scizor? I'm not quite sure what that one is. A Moo Milk, though. Lucky days, boys. Let's go ahead and check out what TM81 is. Wow, I'm surprised I got that right on the first guess, not gonna lie. TM Toxic and TM Exeter, those are two fantastic TMs to get. Honestly, getting access to TM Toxic early on could be really helpful for some certain stall strategies or any sort of strategies you might want to implement. So right now, it is currently raining in the overworld. Now, I want to see if this rain carries over into wild battles. Let's see if it's raining in Viridian Forest. That is something that PokeMMO does that I absolutely love. It can be frustrating at times, but I think it's such a cool mechanic to have overworld weathers affect in-game battles. So right now it's not raining in Viridian Forest. Let's go back and let's test this. I want to test this before heading back into Viridian Forest. In PokeMMO, if it is raining in the overworld and you enter a battle, it will be raining in that battle, and that will obviously boost certain Pokemon or give you certain benefits. So like, for example, my Squirtle's water gun would have its damage boosted if it's raining in the overworld, which is a really interesting sort of benefit to choosing water type, for example, in the starters or any sort of storyline run. So let's test this. Let's see, is it raining in a wild battle while it's raining in the overworld? It looks like it's not. Interesting. Which isn't a terrible, it's not a bad choice. I definitely think it's really cool that PokeMMO does that, but it's not a bad choice by any means. Let's see if this affects it at all. Looks like it. Nope, just no rain. That's okay. It's not a bad thing, just something I wanted to test. Alright, if we head east more into Viridian Forest, we come over to this Pokeball, pick this up. I like this, once again, rewarding for exploration. If I were to pick both of these go-tos, they actually continue west. Neither of them go east, so you really would only see this if you were to choose to control your character and really explore every little inch of the forest that it has to offer you. Alright, now these go-to functions definitely seem to be broken in a ton of ways, because if I click this one to explore all regions of Viridian, I simply stop right here at the start of Viridian. So obviously I'm not sure if that's intended to like just bring you back, but I feel like that doesn't really follow what the quest is trying to do. Obviously if they want you to naturally explore it, I understand, but another quest completed that I just didn't expect to be completing. The go-to functions definitely just have so many bugs and so many kinks that seem to be worked out. It almost feels like an incomplete feature. I would probably go as far as to say, unfortunately, even though it is a really cool feature once it works perfectly, or once it really works well. Alright, but traveling through Viridian Forest a little more, we find this really big rock next to a sign that is really interesting and really stands out from the environment. And if you read the sign, it reads, "A very big rock." I see. Very interesting, very cool gameplay. Let's go ahead and keep heading west and look to make our way out of Viridian Forest. This looks like the sort of outward route that would exist in Fire Red. We have another sign at this crossing. Let's go ahead and see if it offers any interesting information. Benches donated by Silphco. Kind of interesting. I wonder if you can actually sit in them. Doesn't look like it, but maybe I'm not clicking the right key. I can see the exit over here. Let's quickly make our way over. We'll have one more trainer at least to battle on the way out. Now, after defeating Bugcatcher Charles and making my way out of Viridian Forest, I realized that I actually only discovered 2 out of 4 regional locations, I guess, in Viridian Forest, and I am really surprised by that. I feel like I spent a solid amount of time in here truly exploring the forest and truly, I've been spending a lot of time in each area in this game, and I think that really goes to show how much they've added. I really explored this forest to the west, to the east, to the north, to the south, like all over as much as I thought I could have, and I still missed 2 full regions of the forest. That is really interesting. I'm not sure if I just didn't step far enough or into a certain tile or something, but that was pretty shocking. That was pretty exciting. He essentially moves me on, leveled up, go to get through Viridian Forest. Now we're making our way to Pewter City. He wants to warn me, like, hey, make sure you're strong enough for the first gym. The first gym is ahead, and I think I should be strong enough. I think I'm around a level 11 now on my squad. Level 12, actually. So level 12 would be a pretty solid level. If you've played Pokemon for a while, you'd understand that, like, level 12 is a pretty solid level for taking on Brock, especially with a Squirtle. If you have Squirtle and you're taking on Brock at level 12 in Fire Red, you should be pretty safely able to defeat him. Even in PokeMMO, it should be mostly safe. There might be some close calls with the speed drops in relation to Rock Tomb and everything, so you might need to play some things a little smart, maybe do some switch outs. I also haven't caught any other Pokemon, so you know what? I'm going to open this box. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open this box, and it might be worth to go catch a Pokemon before I take on. There's one more Pokemon to reset my stats in case of Rock Tomb. Now, Lure Ball. I have no idea what this does. I assume this is a newer generation Pokeball. I'm actually not sure of the effects of. Now, Dave is going to quickly stop me say hello, talk to me about the gym, not really offer much information besides he's a rock type. I already know that, Dave. Thanks for the 200 Poké Dollars, though I'll be moving on. Pick up this random Pokeball located in the middle of Pewter, which is an interesting choice to see. Get that free Pokeball. I'm going to head back down, actually, to this previous route because you know what? I do want to catch one more Pokemon before taking on Brock to make sure that I can switch out and reset my stats in the midst of battle. Alright, now I got my Squirtle to level 13, and the move learning screen looks a little like this. So I have access to learn Bubble. Bubble is just objectively better than Water Gun. It's the same, special, type, accuracy, power. It just has a chance to lower their speed stat. So I'm going to go ahead and teach Bubble over Water Gun. It should just be slightly objectively better. Let's go ahead and continue on. Get through youngster Joey. John, same thing. All J names, whatever. Let's go ahead and encounter our wild Pokemon over here because I do want to get one Pokemon before taking on Brock. I'm really not sure how difficult he'll be. I don't want a Weedle. Screw that. What I might get is a Caterpie. If I encounter a Caterpie, that could be pretty decent. There's a Pokeball over here as well that I might go grab really quickly. It's cool to see that exploration encouragement. There's a tiny little gap in the fence if you notice it. Pidgey, you know what? I'll take a Pidgey. I'm not a huge fan of Pidgey/Pidgeot in the storylines. I think it's a pretty weak Pokemon. It doesn't really become strong ever. It does get access to Tailwind, so maybe it can be a bit of a supporting Pokemon throughout your journey, but it's really not a great Pokemon. It's really just a fly HM friend, if you ask me. Yeah, not as great Pokemon. Maybe you'll get Brave Bird by level up, though, in this game. That would give it a lot more power, so we'll see. Go ahead and catch that Pidgey. Get a couple quest achievements, get a couple mystery boxes, you know the drill, and I'm going to go pick up this Pokeball really quick. We go over to pick up this Pokeball, and it says we found a message. It's for Dario in Pewter City, saved on your Pokedex. Now, how cool is that? We got a quest from picking up a Pokeball. That's fantastic game design that encourages exploration in multiple ways. Not just talking to trainers for quests, but also being able to get them from picking up items. There's so many genius choices going on with this game, and I can feel like I can confidently say PokeOne is a fantastic game that is definitely worth your time. I think it is one of the few Pokemon MMOs that is worth your time. I think Pokemon MMOs have a ton of issues, PokeMMO being the best of them, but I really think PokeOne is a super strong second and is worthy of your time. Now, if you guys want to see me review another Pokemon MMO that is obviously very popular, Pokemon Revolution Online, let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see more PokeOne content or any sort of Pokemon MMO content, make sure to like the video and subscribe for daily Pokemon MMO content. Now, I'm going to go ahead and continue on. We're getting really close to Brock. I should be able to just straight up battle him with no issues. I think I might even be able to put a berry on my Pokemon to give myself a little bit of a held item advantage, which you usually don't get early game in Pokemon games. Now, I will say, getting my Squirtle to hold this Oranberry was surprisingly difficult. If I right-click, it opens up the same options as my left-click, which is to use, which wouldn't do anything. So I actually have to end up dragging the Oranberry over to the Squirtle, which is pretty unintuitive for a Pokemon game, although it is pretty nice. This is interesting. Are you sure you wish to let Squirtle hold the Oranberry? It will cost 2k to remove this item. This is such a weird gold sink. I don't think I like this. I think giving an item to a Pokemon shouldn't be restricted and shouldn't be punished for. That is a weird way to implement a gold sink. I think the biggest issue I've seen in this game is the choices of gold sinks and the choices of Pokegold sinks. Alright, so I actually got a message from another player, and it looks like he's trying to trade me a high-level Pokemon in exchange for a rare candy. Now, that is an interesting trade. I'm not sure. I don't know the value of rare candies in this game. I don't know if that's an even trade or not. He could be trying to jip me a little, but honestly, if he's trying to jip me a little, it's a pretty fair jip. There might be a lot of players who do value that high-level Pokemon to be able to help them in the early game. I personally don't think I'm going to need any help, so I'm going to politely decline that trade offer, but it's cool to see players reaching out to me in that regard in whispers. You know what? I'll take it. That's some player interaction. That gives me that MMO feel, and I'm like the same exact identical copy as this player. Another loot box opened and a decent amount of Poke Gold gathered. Let's see how much we're at right now. 470. So we're almost halfway to the amount of Poke Gold to make a guild, and we're not even completed the first gym yet. So you know what? Maybe I spoke too soon. Now it is possible that I'm just getting an influx of Poke Gold since it's the start of the game and I'm completing all these achievements, and then once I complete them, it becomes a lot more difficult. So you do end up having to spend those US dollars to create a guild, but honestly, I think it was a little too harsh, but I still think my criticism stands, but at a less severity. Pick up some wise glasses here. That's actually really, really nice to get early game. Maybe I should have waited to pick these up. So, and this goes back to my gold sink, costing 2K just to take the item off the Pokemon. That is so terrible for storyline play especially. I feel like you are punishing early game players so much with that mechanic to where they just can't change around items. Like, now that I've found the wise glasses, I'd prefer to have them on the Squirtle as opposed to the Oranberry, but I don't have that option anymore because I put an Oranberry on my Squirtle to play it safe. I don't like this mechanic. I feel like this is a weird way to do a gold sink, and I think it's unneeded and just clunky for newer players and any sort of players alike. We do complete this quick little side quest for Dario, which is pretty cool. Get a great ball and continue moving on. I want to go beat up Brock. I want to go get to him ASAP. I might just go ahead and make my way there, as I think I'm fully ready to battle him. Now, if I click the go to, it won't take me to him. I'm in Pewter City. It really can't travel me there? That's interesting. Alright, so this so happens to be the Pokemart of Pewter. I'm going to use my boomer knowledge and head to the northwest of the map, which is traditionally where Brock's gym would be located, and it looks like there's some sort of monument up here that might just be that. So let's go ahead and try to find Brock's gym together. Now, there's actually a forced trainer fight just when heading around that northwest location, so I wonder if there will be no trainers inside of Brock's gym and you just have to get through this guy. But wow, did you see that? This Fearow did massive damage to me. My Squirtle is level 13. It's hitting for neutral. Pluck? Oh, it took my... I don't know what Pluck does. It's a newer generation move I'm definitely not used to. I wonder if it did more damage because I had a berry. No, that damage is crazy. I'm going to lose this fight, no doubt. Wow. So I actually lost a fight leading up to Brock. I have a feeling this storyline is going to be quite difficult, possibly even more difficult than PokeMMO. I definitely could have had something like this happen in PokeMMO, but for this fight leading up to Brock to be this difficult, that was shocking. Let's try to go gain some levels and get back to this fight. That was brutal. You are not prepared. I clearly am not. So something that sucks here that has to do with that held item thing is that I really want to give my Squirtle the wise glasses during grinding to gain a little bit more damage, to maybe be able to one-shot another Pokemon here and there that it normally otherwise couldn't, giving that 10% damage increase. But I want the Oranberry for the Brock fight, I feel like. So it's really weird how I've entered this situation where I kind of have to bite the bullet. I think it's going to be worth to go ahead and put the wise glasses. They could be beneficial in the Brock fight as well, but maybe there will be an item later on in the storyline that I want to switch it out for. But 2K just to take off the item, that might be nothing later on in the game, but I feel like that always stays a relevant like amount of Pokeyen. I saw a shiny Tentacruel for 300k at the beginning of the game. If it's costing me, you know, about 1%, that's a decent tax. That's a solid tax. That is surprising to me. Now, I do want to go ahead and click this and see use of this function. I haven't really taken much use of this, so I do want to go ahead and do this. So we can see all of the Pokemon we have access to, but Pokemon we haven't seen yet won't appear on this. So we can actually see what wild Pokemon we haven't seen yet in this route, which is really cool. I think doing this in relation to our Pokedex and what we do know about is a fantastic way to do it, but without it being too powerful. Now, I actually do want to catch this Caterpie if possible, but I'm not sure if Tackle is going to one-shot or not. Unfortunate. But anyway, I'm essentially just going to do some grinding here because I need to get my levels up a decent amount to be able to take on Brock, because that one trainer before him really showed me how difficult he's probably going to be. Alright, now I've spent a bit of time leveling, and I ended up getting my Squirtle to level 14 out of 13 in the level turned red. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared about that. I'm not sure how much that is going to affect / hurt my use of my Squirtle. I'm gonna go ahead and get those EVs that I want onto it, but I think I just have to go ahead and try to defeat that Fearow. That Fearow really messed me up earlier, but I'm scared that this 14 out of 13 thing is going to really hurt my progression in this game. There's something in PokeMMOs called a max obedience level cap, and if you get over that level, it will essentially make it so your Pokemon will one-shot itself. It will not be able to be used by you until you gain more gym badges to be able to actually control that Pokemon. But I'm going to go ahead and open this small box. Now we can see the 2-hour mark. I wonder if it just progressively gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know what TM5 is off the top of my head, actually. Is that like something like strength or something? Roar. Okay. That's sure to be an HM, obviously, but I wasn't sure if it existed in TM form. But how many potions do I have? Let's go ahead and check that. This battle is actually going to be strategic. This is going to be difficult. I wonder if it's worth to teach Toxic to my Squirtle to be able to stall this battle in some way. But we have access to one Moo Milk, which will heal me 100 HP, a potion which will heal me a little bit. I'm going to heal up and just try to take on that Fearow again, man. I'm scared of this level cap situation. I just don't know enough about it, and I don't want to permanently halt my progress. I actually completed a quest called Healer for healing X amount of time, so that's kind of funny. The amount of quests that are in this game is definitely a little funny. The amount of small random ones, but you know what? I don't know. It never hurts. I guess I wish they were a little more scattered. I wish they were a little more rare. I don't want them to be too common, but I do love the implementation of them. Now, I have been grinding long enough for it to turn nighttime in game, as you can see, so we can see a little bit of the time zone difference. Now, let's try to walk by this guy, Zachary. This was the Fearow monster himself, so let's see how it goes this time. It's going to pop out as Fearow. I'm probably just going to have to possibly spam potions. The issue being, I only have 34 HP overall, so I really don't know. Maybe it's worth to just spam Withdraw and use. Is it really going to help me that much? It's just going to be tough. Last time I feel like I was so far from winning. It just felt insane. Tail Whip is going to help because I have Bubble, which is going to be a special attack. I feel like I'm going to spam a Withdraw or two. He used Pursuit this time, which does so much less damage. He did get a defense. Oh, no, that was for my Withdraw. Okay. So I'm going to try 2 withdraws and try to go from there. This time the Fearow is absolutely just not doing anything, really. I don't know why, but I'll take it. I'm going to go ahead and withdraw one more time. He's in a Pursuit. Yep, I'll take it. So I'm taking pretty low damage here. Can withdraw here, raise my defense again. So I have 2 defense raise stages. I should be safe to Bubble here. And then if he goes for any sort of attack, I'll go for that potion. Yeah, Pluck only doing 7% here. So, wow, I can't believe Withdraw was actually so useful here. That's really interesting. I wonder if it's because I had that berry that Pluck really hurt me that first time. I can't believe this Fearow was so difficult that first time around. I think I'm safe to Bubble here. And then I can potion next turn. Let's say like crits or something. So yeah, 7 there. Even with crit, it wouldn't have killed me. My Bubble was almost enough to kill him there. I don't know if that was a high roll or what happened, but now I definitely have to go over to my medicine, pop a potion. And this battle should be pretty safe from this on. He goes for a Leer to lower my defense, but I believe he's faster than me if I'm not mistaken. He's been faster this whole time. The Peck Drum's still only doing 6. Yeah, I don't know if he got a huge crit or maybe multiple crits. He might have missed something out on that first battle because this battle, this time just felt infinitely easier. I don't know if I just absolutely had to utilize the withdraw mechanics or if that 1 to 2 level gain was really that good, but yeah, this battle felt like a walk in the park compared to the previous one. Now, this sand attack is annoying. I'm probably going to go ahead and switch out to, there we go. I was going to say, I'm going to switch out to my Pidgey and just reset my accuracy if I missed that bubble. But there we go. We do defeat Zachary now. I'm going to go heal back up, and hopefully we'll be able to take on Brock coming up. My score goes up to level 15 out of 13. I don't know what this means. I don't know if I'll learn what that means or if we'll come to any conclusion on that, but for now, it's a mystery. Now, making our way to Brock's gym is actually slightly more difficult than I feel like it. Just like a mini puzzle. You have to go around that right side ramp and then go. You can't go in the middle and then go. It's so interesting. I don't know why they have this mini puzzle, but I love the aesthetic. Can we talk about, once again, man, the graphics and the aesthetic of this game are gorgeous. The way that Brock's gym looks is incredible. But we finally made it in. Let's talk to George here. I wonder if he'll give me any sort of advice or any sort of potion. Sometimes they'll give you a potion if you talk to these guys. Usually in the... more advice? Nah, I'm okay. Usually in the 5th gen games, they'll give you that nice, helpful, like, that clear water or water. So we're going to go ahead and take on this. There's actually 3 trainers leading up to Brock. That is pretty shocking. So this might take a little bit to battle through. I'm probably not going to show you guys any of these fights as they're probably kind of boring. Yeah, this is even easier than Zachary. I'll just show you guys once we're at Brock. Alright, so after defeating the second trainer on the way to Brock, we did get our Squirtle to evolve into Wartortle, and look how cool this screen is. So this will actually keep blinking until I click yes or no, so it's actually impossible to accidentally evolve your Pokemon if you don't want to evolve it to, let's keep like a lower evolution for like Eviolite for competitive play, or for whatever reason, maybe to like learn a certain move like Spore on Shroomish. This is a genius evolution screen, and I am a huge fan of that. I'm going to click yes. And go ahead and evolve it, and then battle the last trainer, and then I should be ready to take on Brock. I did want to take a quick sec to quickly comment on the scenery and how the battle kind of evolves and changes. So obviously we're battling all these ground Pokemon and rock Pokemon in Brock's gym. Seeing the ground background really does add an extra level of immersion. Also, this Wartortle sprite and animations look absolutely fantastic. The aesthetics, graphics, and sound, everything visually and aesthetically and just sensory about this game just continues to impress me. I'm going to pick up this Pokeball, go heal my Pokemon really quick, and then head back to take on Brock. And that'll be the final challenge for this video and the final review part of PokeOne. Let's go ahead and open this normal box really quick though, as loot boxes are clearly so important. We do get that fresh water, old Ditto, and a level ball. Level ball is one of my favorite balls that don't exist in PokeMMO, which is very cool. Alright, now it's officially time to take on Brock, and I love the way his sprite looks. Surprise, surprise, the aesthetics of this game continue to impress. Let's go ahead and jump into the final challenge for the first impressions episode of PokeOne. Wartortle facing down Geodude, level 12 versus level 14 now. I don't know if there's a level cap in this game or really how that works. I should be safe to just throw up a bubble. Brock only has 2 Pokemon. And he gets one shot and doesn't have 30. This came off hilarious. I feel like that one guy who was gatekeeping Brock's gym with the Fearow was the most difficult battle of this journey, of this game. I don't know why he's there. I feel like, yeah, neither of them has 30. I just one-shot both of them. What a weird first battle. So the easiest gym battle of all time, but that guy with the Pluck Fearow, just weird. I don't know. That was crazy. We do get access to Bite, which is an incredible move. I'm going to go ahead and probably get rid of Tail Whip for it, maybe Tackle, something of the sort. I want to keep the neutral coverage for now, I guess, but Bite will usually probably just do more damage. We'll take it for now, though. But wow, really, really easy fight, really easy battle. Get the Boulder Badge, get everything of the sort, and that's going to complete our first impressions experience for PokeOne. Now, I do want to go ahead and we got all these achievements and quests and do a quick little wrap-up about my thoughts, feelings, opinions, and what it was like jumping into this game as a new player. So I'm not truly a new player for PokeOne. I did play it back when it released, but clearly a lot of things have changed, and I think for the better. I really liked this game back in the day, and I used to think it was my second favorite Pokemon MMO, and I think after this 1 hour or so, or more clearly, after my new player experience, I feel even more confident, 2.5 hours or so, I feel even more confident in saying that this is my second favorite Pokemon MMO. This game, its new player experience was fantastic. The amount of mechanics introduced well, the tutorials, the traversal, the fantastic mix of nostalgia and keeping the map mostly the same while also offering this whimsical sort of sense of adventure with slightly different variants and nooks and crannies all over the place. I am blown away. I would rate the new player experience of PokeOne a 9 out of 10. I think this game was fantastic. I do think that the storyline is, especially after that Brock fight, a lot easier than PokeMMO. That one trainer before this really made me almost doubt that. I almost thought this was actually more difficult, but wow, that Brock fight was easy. The Brock fight in PokeMMO can be really brutal with those speed drops and everything going on, and the sturdies and everything, and you have to switch up strategies. It can be surprisingly tough. But wow, that was a crazy easy Brock fight, but I enjoyed it. I had fun still. This has been a really enjoyable video to make, even though it required a lot of effort. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video and enjoyed this experience alongside me. If you did, please make sure to like the video physically. It helps out the channel a ton. And if you didn't and you disagree with me, you can disagree and still like the video. But if you hated the video and you feel like it gave an improper view of PokeOne, feel free to dislike the video as well. That's totally okay. If you want to go ahead and leave your feedback in the comments down below, that would be appreciated. You can also subscribe for daily Pokemon MMO content. I upload 2 videos, 2 pieces of content every single day, whether it's a video and a stream or 2 videos every single day. I upload a ton of content for Pokemon MMOs, mostly PokeMMO. If you want to join the Discord linked down below to join a really cool community based around Pokemon MMOs, especially specifically PokeMMO, go ahead and join that. And if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel and allow me to keep making content and allow me to keep making Pokemon MMO videos every single day, you can do so by supporting the channel financially with YouTube memberships for $5 a month, drop a Twitch Prime or a Twitch sub over my Twitch, or hit up my Patreon, PayPal, or Venmo link down below. I appreciate your guys' time. I really, really do. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you guys left this video with some new information, some new insights, and maybe even being entertained. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski, and first things first, I want to say thank you for watching the video until the very end. Secondly, I want to say thank you to all the names on screen right now. This clip is used to say thank you so much to all my YouTube members, Twitch subscribers, and everyone who goes above and beyond and supports the channel and allows me to wake up every morning and make PokeMMO videos for you guys. Thank you so much, and have a great day.